Hello viewers, I am Jay Pandit. Welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, we will be discussing bipolar junction transistor, that is BJT. By the end of this lecture, students will be able to understand the input, output and dynamic characteristics of BJT. Students will be able to draw input, output and dynamic characteristics of BJT, derive the relation between alpha and beta of the BJT. A bipolar junction transistor is a 3-layer 2-junction device. The 3 layers are made up of P type of semiconductors or N, P and N type of semiconductor. So based on the layers which are used in the transistor, the transistor is mainly classified into 2 different categories, that is NPN transistor and a PNP transistor. The term bipolar denotes that the current flows in the device due to movement of both holes as well as electrons. BJT has 3 terminals, namely base, collector and emitter. These are the symbols of PNP and NPN transistors. In the symbol, we can see there is a line with an arrow. So the terminal with line and arrow always denotes the emitter of the device. So in case of NPN transistor, this is the emitter, and in case of PNP transistor, this is the emitter. And arrow indicates the direction of emitter current. In the symbol, there is no arrow which is associated with base or the collector terminal. Arrow is only associated with emitter terminal. In steady state characteristics of transistor, we will be starting with the input characteristics. Here we have considered an NPN transistor with common emitter configuration. That means the emitter is common to both base circuit as well as collector circuit. Input characteristics. Input characteristic is the variation of base current with respect to the base to emitter voltage. If you see the structure of a NPN transistor, then base is formed by the P layer and emitter is formed by the N layer. If we are forward biasing this base to emitter, or if we are applying a positive voltage to the base with respect to the emitter, we are applying this positive voltage to the base with respect to emitter, then this PN junction will become forward biased. If this PN junction becomes forward biased, then the base current will start flowing from base to emitter in this circuit. So this current or the characteristics of this junction will be similar to that of the characteristics of a PN junction diode. Hence, we can see over here the characteristics of the transistor, that is input characteristics, are similar to that of the PN junction diode. Up to a particular voltage, the diode will not conduct, or it will conduct very small amount of current, and afterwards the voltage will remain almost constant and current will go on increasing. So these are the characteristics of PN junction diodes, and similar characteristics are given by the base to emitter junction. Now, if we increase the collector to emitter voltage, the base current will go on reducing. This we can see in the characteristics also. If we are considering one particular point of our base to emitter voltage, then for this base to emitter voltage, the base current drawn for these two values, that is, this is first value and this is the second value, the base current is smaller when the collector to emitter voltage is equal to VCE2, that is higher than that of VCE1. Hence, we can say that with increase in the collector current increase in the collector to emitter voltage VCE, the base current reduces. Output characteristics. Output characteristics are given as the variation of collector current IC with the collector to emitter voltage VCE. In this case also, we have selected an NPN type of transistor with common emitter configuration. The output characteristics of this transistor is given in this figure. In this figure, we can see that for same values of the collector and the collector to emitter voltage, and for same values of collector to emitter voltage VCE, the collector current increases with the increase in base current. If we select one particular value of collector to emitter voltage, then with increase in the base current, that is from 0 to IB1, IB2, IB3, IB4, IB5, IB6, we can see that the collector current values are going on increasing. This region of working of transistor is known as the active region. In active region, the transistor is mainly working as an amplifier. This region is known as the saturation region. In saturation region, you can see voltage across the transistor is very low and the current flowing through the transistor can be very high. Whereas if the base current is equal to 0, then the collector to emitter current or the collector current flowing from the transistor will be equal to only the leakage current. As the value of leakage current is very low, this region is named as the cutoff region. When we are going to use transistor as a switch, we will be utilizing only these two regions, that is cutoff region and saturation region. We are not going to utilize the active region for power electronic converter application. The curve P and Q represent the limiting curves of the output characteristics. The curve P is shown over here and curve Q is shown over here. In the part of curve Q where the values of VCE are low is represented by the saturation region. This part is given by this saturation region. In saturation region, maximum possible collector to emitter voltage under saturation condition is given by VCES, that is VCE saturated. In the part of curve Q where the values of IC are very low is represented by the cutoff region. So here is our cutoff region. When we are using our transistor only in the saturation region and the cutoff region, then in that case we call that operation is like a switch. Area between the saturation region and the cutoff region is represented by the active region. So this complete area in between the saturation region and the cutoff region is represented by the active region. In active region, transistor works as an amplifier. This vertically rising curve and this vertically rising curve, they are representing the breakdown region of transistor. Once the breakdown of the transistor occurs, the transistor cannot be recovered back. The equation IC equal to VCC minus VC divided by RC represents the equation of load line. This load line is given by this curve. Locus of all the possible points or locus of all the possible operating points is represented by the load line. Ideally, when the transistor is on as a switch, then our operating point according to this load line would be A. But during on condition, some voltage drop occurs across the transistor which is equal to the saturation voltage. Because of that saturation voltage, the operating point is shifted from A to A dash. Ideally, when the transistor is under the off state, then the operating point should be B. But under the off state, or when the transistor is working in the cutoff region, there is a very small current, that is leakage current, flowing through the transistor. Because of that leakage current, the operating point is shifted to B dash. Relation between alpha and beta. Alpha is given as the forward current gain of the transistor. Alpha is usually given by the ratio of collector current to the emitter current. It is the indication of percentage of electrons reaching to the collector from emitter. As IC is always smaller than that of IE, the value of alpha varies around 0.95 to 0.99. Beta is the current gain of the transistor. It is given by the ratio of collector current to the base current. These two expressions are very popular expressions. In order to derive the relation between alpha and beta, let us consider that the transistor is a node. If we consider this transistor as a node, then the incoming current to this node would be IC and IB. The outgoing current from this transistor is IE. So this collector current is coming inside. Also the base current is also coming inside, and the current that is going out is emitter current. Hence, the current leaving the node is equal to currents, sum of the currents entering the node. If we divide both sides by collector current IC, we will get IE upon IC is equal to 1 plus IB upon IC. We already know that alpha is the ratio of collector current to emitter current and beta is the ratio of collector current to base current. Hence, we can say IE upon IC is equal to 1 upon alpha and IB upon IC is equal to 1 upon beta. Hence, we get 1 upon alpha is equal to 1 plus 1 upon beta. We can simplify this equation and we can represent the value of beta and alpha in terms of each other like this. So, we are getting beta is equal to alpha upon 1 minus alpha and alpha is equal to beta upon 1 plus beta. Switching performance or the transistor switching characteristics. A transistor cannot be turned on instantly because inside the transistor there is a presence of internal capacitance. The switching waveforms of the transistor are shown in the figure. The on time of the transistor comprises of two different times. First is the delay time and second is the rise time. As you can see over here, the transistor will remain on only up to the instant we are supplying the base current. Transistor will be turned on if the signal is removed from the base. When the base to emitter voltage VB is applied, the base current rises to value of IB. The collector current, however, remains 0 or equal to the collector to emitter leakage current, that is ICEO, as shown in the figure. After some delay of TD called the delay time, the collector current begins to rise. This delay time is required for charging the capacitance available between base and emitter. After this delay, the collector current rises to a steady state value of ICS. The time required for rising the current from ICEO, that is collector to emitter leakage current, to the on state current, that is ICS, is referred as the rise time or TR. Thus, the total on time is summation of delay time and rise time. When the base to emitter voltage is removed, in this period, the base current also drops down to 0. The collector current does not change for a time Ts. This time is known as the storage time. During time Ts, saturating charge is removed from the base. After time Ts, the collector current begins to decrease. the time required for reduction of collector current from the initial saturation value of ICS to the forward leakage current or collector to emitter leakage current ICEO is known as the fall time or TF. During this fall time, the collector to emitter voltage rises from the saturation value of VCES to VCC or the supply voltage. Thus we can say over here total off time is the summation of time Ts, that is storage time, and time Tf, that is fall time. In this waveform, Tn is represented by the conduction time and T0 is represented by the off time or off period. In this discussion, we have seen input, output and dynamic characteristics of BJT. Dynamic characteristics are nothing but the switching characteristics of BJT. Also, we have seen the relation between alpha and beta. These are few references which we have used for preparing this presentation. If you like this video, please hit the like button. Please do subscribe to our channel for more updates. Thank you.